Thanks for joining us for another episode of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. Our Mastermind series continues with Heat 2. We had a great start to the series last week with Andy Davies winning Heat 1 and booking his ticket to the Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Mastermind Grand Final to be held later in the summer. We've got 4 people joining us this week to see if they can book a place in that final and join him. We've got 3 less regular faces and 1 very regular face joining us for Heat 2. We've got Meg, Ballers Meg, joining us. Big Atlanta Falcons fan, does her own content and also regularly appears on the Asleep at Work network. We have Tom Kraft joining us, big Chiefs fan. He'll be joining us. Midnight Sport from Midnight Sports, does his stuff with Fletch on the Asleep at Work network as well. We're then joined by Phill, who's got probably what has been my favourite specialist subject to write questions for so far. He's from the Third and Long pod. We've got the rest of those guys competing later on in the series, so it'd be good to see if Phill can get them off to a good start. And then rounding off the competitors for Heat 2, we've got our very own Byron. Of course, we needed some Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover representation, and he's not getting it easy. There's no fix here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. Byron's going to get a very, very tough go of it. Usual Mastermind rules apply, same as last week in our horrendous rip-off of the beloved BBC quiz show, but thankfully we've not had any cease and desists or cancellation orders from the BBC yet. I suppose that'll happen if somehow one of these episodes blows up. And you can help do that by subscribing to Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover over on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, Overcast, YouTube, wherever you choose to watch or listen to your podcast. Please subscribe on your chosen platform. Leave a review or leave a star rating if you could. Every little helps. And make sure you follow us over on X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky at GTW_GTC. So without further ado, let's kick off Heat 2 of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Mastermind. First up for Heat 2 of the Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Mastermind contest, we've got Phill Perrins joining us from the Third and Long pod. Phill, welcome to the show.
Thank you ever so much. Yeah, thank you ever so much for having us. I'm hopefully testing my knowledge here on my specialist subject because it's something I normally compete for airtime with on our show. So we'll see if I can come up top trumps.
Excellent. Well, we've got a very interesting specialist subject. I'll leave that as a tease there before we get into it because I think it's I've been writing these questions for months at this point to prep all this, but that's the one I've enjoyed writing the most, which is something because we've had some great subjects. But you are, as I mentioned, from the Third and Long pod. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the Third and Long pod for any of our listeners or viewers that haven't maybe seen you guys or watched or listened to your guys' show?
So Third and Long pod is obviously we're talking about like American football. We love the NFL. We're 3 lads who are from very, very different forms of life. Some of us quite literally, if you're talking about Shane. We literally all came together just because of our love of American football. And we all have like our little fandoms. Like I played up until quite recently. Hendo played up until about like 10 years or so. But like Baby Hope, he's a massive fan. He also reps the 49ers like myself. And Shane's a huge, huge fanatic of the Baltimore Ravens. And we all came together and we just fell in love with it. And we've just been doing the pod. Well, I've been on the pod for just over 2 years now, and I think Baby and Hendo have been doing a bit longer, but that's kind of how we do it. We apply like a British eye to all forms of football.
Excellent, good stuff. Make sure you go check the guys out. Go give them a follow at Third and Long UK pod. What platform is it across? Spotify, Apple,
anywhere that you get your podcasts. I know that we really, really push it on Spotify. I know it's on YouTube if you want to see our ugly mugs, and it's on Amazon and iTunes as well.
Excellent, good stuff. And just you mentioned, you sat there for people watching on YouTube. Our YouTube, you'll be able to see Phil's got his 49ers jersey on. Big news out of San Francisco over the weekend. Brock Purdy signed his contract. How are you feeling about that? He's getting.
You know what? I am pro Brock Purdy. I think anyone that's not in the 49ers fandom is anti-Brock Purdy. I think they're still hung up on the fact that he was Mr. Irrelevant, forgetting the fact that in his first half a season, he took us to an NFC Championship game, and in his first full season, he took us to a Super Bowl and was in game-winning drives where he got us into the lead and nearly won us a Super Bowl. So I think it's massively deserved. And I've been, like I've mentioned, like me and Baby were pro Brock Purdy. Is he elite? It's too early to say. But then, all the quarterbacks that are paid an obscene amount of money, how many of them have actually got their teams to a Super Bowl? How many teams have gone toe to toe with the Chiefs and were, a field goal away from winning a Super Bowl? And I think Brock Purdy earns it, and I think he will. And all the little minute details of coming out like guaranteed money and the no trade clause that's in his contract, I think he's done himself really well. And considering that there's a lot of controversy surrounding quarterbacks in the NFL and just players in the NFL in general, he just seems like a genuinely stand-up guy with his good beliefs, great family background, great relationship. He loves playing for the 49ers, and regardless of if he's successful going forward, I'm happy for him because he's got that bag and he's living his dream. And if he wins a Super Bowl, that's a movie right there in 10, 15 years.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he got paid about £3.5 million across his rookie contract.
Yes.
And now he's going to get that per game, which is awesome. So yeah.
And then just to come back onto it very quickly, but we get hung up so much, especially the fans say, it's a waste of money. We're not necessarily it's the Yorks that are paying his salary. Yes, it might be against the salary cap, but an NFL player's career is very short in the grand scheme of life. So, if you're only going to be in the league 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, not everyone's going to have a Tom Brady career. Not everyone's going to have a Peyton Manning or an Aaron Rodgers type career that goes on and on and on and on and on. So even if he's, only in the league for 5 years, he's got his bag. That's generational wealth, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely, fully deserved. And like I say, ultimately, if you have a competent quarterback in the NFL, if they're not on a rookie contract, you're paying them a fortune. That's just the way it goes now. So you're paying him 50 million a year, no matter what. So it's just in line with everybody else. Excited to see. How do you think they're going to do the Niners this year? We're miles away, but how do you think they're going to do?
We're in the position that we are because of just mass mismanagement of the team last year, from injuries to contracts to coaching to attitude, and I think with the mass change of the coaching scheme, the special teams coach, obviously we've got Robert Saleh back. We lost some of the veterans, but we also plugged in with some free agencies. I'm really excited about all our rookies that we've picked up as well. I don't really we're talking about on the show and we graded them. I put our overall draft class as a C+, and considering that our GM and our head coach has not had a particularly out and out successful draft class in there for how long have they been at the organization? Has it been 6-7 years now that we've had them both? They haven't they've had more misses than say hits in terms of our drafting, and I was actually really impressed with what they picked up. So I think we'll have a winning season. I don't think we'll, if we get to the playoffs, I'm not saying that we're one and done, but I definitely think in the NFC West, we are a lot stronger than a lot of pundits think we are.
Cool. Good, so exciting year ahead for the Niners. I think we've got Joe, one of our guys, is a big Niners fan as well. I think we're all expecting a good year from the Niners, especially got a bit of a softer schedule as well, so
yeah.
Francis.
Well, I think they're favoured in 15 of the 17 games for next season, which, don't get me wrong, if we went 15-2, that would be amazing. But, anything 750 upwards, I think is a good year for San Francisco.
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. I'm so excited to do this first part of the Mastermind quiz with you, because your specialist subject, Phill, is NFL players in wrestling. And I really enjoyed writing these questions. What a great specialist subject. Talk to us a little bit about kind of why this is your specialist subject. And
growing up, as a lad from the Northeast, there was 3 things that ruled my life. There was Newcastle United, my hometown club, San Francisco 49ers. I love the NFL, but the thing that was prominent and probably helped shape everything about me growing up was professional wrestling, whether or not that was WWE or WCW. I've always loved wrestling, and it's just like a really, really great memory of, growing up. I used to watch it with my gran. My gran was a huge Hulkamaniac. Like, honestly, to see like a 60-year-old woman literally just losing her mind every time Hulk Hogan would come out and save the day. So I grew up in the whole Monday Night Wars era with like the NWO, with the Macho Man, and like Booker T, DDP, Goldberg, Sting, and then going to the WWE with Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker. And I've just always loved it. I think it's the purest form of entertainment when it's at its best. When wrestling is at its best, it's phenomenal. And it's great to have those combined loves of my life sometimes, where you can have NFL players make that leap, and and vice versa, where it's that kind of like great mediums coming together of pro wrestling and entertainment and like NFL. And we've had some great wrestlers over the years that have come from football backgrounds and world champions, and it's just brilliant. So when you asked me initially, it was like going, well, do I want to do NFL players in films, or do I want to do NFL players in wrestling? And I managed to like get to it before anyone else put their names in the hat for like that particular subject, because I reckon if you have Shane on the show, he would want something similar. But I got there before him.
Yeah, it was funny you should mention that, because somebody else has got NFL players in films as their specialist subject.
There we go.
Episode 4, I think, or Heat 4. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's just based on what you said there. I think you're gonna do really well. There's a mixture of questions, newer, more recent references, older ones as well, and everything in between. So I think you're gonna do pretty well, Phill.
Well, thank you.
We will do is we will get started very much in the spirit of, or not in the spirit, it's just a straight rip-off, as of the TV series Mastermind. If you pass on a question, we'll go back to it at the end to kind of share the answer. If you give an incorrect answer, I'll give it there and then. And if, as the 2 minutes is up, if I have started a question, I will finish it. So, excellent. Are you ready, Phill? 2 minutes on the clock.
Try me.
NFL players in professional wrestling. Let's go. Which former professional wrestler spent 4 seasons in the NFL from 93 to 96, playing for 2 AFC East teams?
Jesus Christ. Ahmed Johnson. No.
It is Monty Brown.
Of course.
Known as Top Dollar in WWE, Anthony Joseph Francis made his NFL debut for which team during the 2015 season?
Atlanta Falcons?
It is the Miami Dolphins. Bill Goldberg played college football for 4 years at which SEC school?
Georgia.
Georgia, correct. Which NFL Hall of Famer with 160 sacks made his WCW debut at the Great American Bash in 1996?
Kevin Green?
Kevin Green, correct. Which former Titans, Cowboys, Bengals, and Broncos cornerback made appearances for TNA Wrestling while suspended from the NFL in 2000?
Oh, God! Jesus Christ! Pac-Man Jones.
Correct. Which former Indianapolis Colt made his pro wrestling debut a month before the 2009 draft at an IWA East Coast show in West Virginia?
Oh, pass.
Oh, pass. We'll come back to that. The clues in the question. Which former WCW wrestler Steve McMichael won a Super Bowl playing for which team?
Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears, correct. Former NFL offensive lineman Quinn Ojinaka is known by what ring name?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, Quinn Ojinaka, a former NFL offensive lineman, is known by what wrestling ring name?
Pass.
Pass, cool. Known as Flying Brian and the Loose Cannon, which wrestler signed to the Bengals as an undrafted free agent in 1984?
Brian Pillman.
Correct. Wrestler Tino Sabatelli was drafted in the second round of the 2007 draft by which NFC team?
Saints.
It was Tampa Bay. And the last one, which New York Giants legend Lawrence Taylor headlined WrestleMania 11 against which wrestler?
Bigelow.
Spot on, cool. Good stuff. That was tough, right?
That was a really good. That was really good. Like, some of those, I was like, oh my god, yeah. Especially like the Tino one. I was like, oh my god, I know. I can see his stupid face as well. I couldn't picture what team he played for.
Well, yeah, getting down the rabbit hole with this, like I said, I didn't realise that. So Tino Sabatelli, otherwise known as Sabatino Pistelli, was drafted by the Buccaneers. I didn't realise he was the second rounder as well.
Nah.
Like,
The Colt question was that Pat McAfee?
it was,
Oh,
yeah. So,
I was like, oh my god, as soon as you said Colt, I was like, it's got to be too obvious to be like Pat. Like, it's got to be way too obvious to be Pat. Yeah, it was stupid Pat McAfee.
yeah,
Which, for like any of the listeners out there, he's been a wrestling fan for a lot longer than you think, considering.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. So that was Pat McAfee. And the other one was, so it was, Quinn Ojinaka was a 7-year offensive lineman in the NFL. He's now known as Moose.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, a stupid moose. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's 1, 2, 3, 6 with 2 passes. So that was a pretty strong start.
I don't know. Is that good? Is that good?
Well, the winner of Heat 1 got 20
Oh, Jesus Christ, man!
in total. 20 in total, not in the first round. 20 in total. So but I guess they would have only needed 16 to win. So
Okay. So this is.
all is not lost, and I suspect you're going to have. How is your general NFL knowledge? Because I suspect you've got pretty good general NFL knowledge.
Pretty good. Like my general NFL knowledge comes from the fact that I'm a huge fan of like 70s, 80s, and 90s, well up to mid 90s NFL stuff. So like early 2000s, I'm quite sketchy on. Because like I guess my memory warehouse doesn't actually fill any of that rubbish in. But like we'll say let's say.
Cool, good stuff. Right, what we'll do is we will pause there, give you time to gather your thoughts. We'll complete the rest of the first round with our other contenders, and we'll be back to complete the second round. So yeah, get some last minute cramming in, take a breath, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes, Phill. Next up, we've got Tom Craft joining us from Midnight Sports and regular on the Asleep at Work network. Tom, welcome back to the show. This might be like the third or fourth time you've been involved with something for us. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, all the better for seeing you, Paul. Everything's going good with me. Yeah, as you say, Midnight Sports. It's off season at the moment, so taking a little bit of a hiatus here and there, but keeping up with the NBA playoffs and the NFL and stuff. So new podcast coming out with that, and then AAW Network as well. Just full steam ahead with all NFL content, and can't wait for the season to finally come back around, which seems a long time, but we'll get there eventually.
It does, and that's why we're doing this daft mastermind thing. That's one of the reasons why. You mentioned that you've been getting a bit involved in watching the NBA players. Is your team still involved?
Yes, my team is still involved. I support the Timberwolves, so they're in the Western Conference Finals. They unfortunately lost Game 1 to the Thunder last night or the other night, but hoping that they can somehow prevail. And then the other side, I want the Knicks to go through because I just don't like the Pacers.
Oh no! So I'm not massive NBA, but my team is the Pacers. So great start for the Pacers. Last night, that was last night, wasn't it?
It was crazy. The shot that Halliburton hit to tie it up. Well, it looked like he'd won it, and then he obviously it was a 2, but then they still won in overtime. So they're the underdogs that seem to be getting through everyone. So who knows? They could be making it to the NBA Finals.
Nice to see kind of 4 teams that don't usually make it.
It'd be nice to see someone new win it, and it seems like that's the case with the NBA at the moment. It's been 7 years in a row without a back-to-back champion now, so it would be nice to see some fresh blood and a new team win, and another superstar rise to a higher status by winning their first championship. So
quite the opposite has been the case in the NFL, which ties us nicely to what your specialist subject is. Tom, of course, you are a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, and that is going to be your specialist subject, the last 8 years or so of the Kansas City Chiefs. How are you feeling kind of after obviously a rough night in the Super Bowl, getting hammered by the Eagles. But how are you feeling kind of the off-season's gone and how are you feeling heading towards 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always going to be a bit nervous about the offensive line, but, if the Chiefs get the value out of Josh Simmons that, a lot of people, thought that, before he got the injury for Ohio State that he was one of the best defensive linemen in college football. So if the Chiefs, the medical staff have done a great job in assessing where he's going to be, and if he can be even an above average left tackle, then, Patrick Mahomes will have more time to throw the ball. And I did really like the pickup of Jalen Royals as well. I had another explosive receiver. So yeah, I like what the Chiefs have done in the off season. We'll just have to wait to see what actually happens in the season. But I think they'll be there and thereabouts.
I mean, that's just been the case, right? This whole time, this last 7-8 years, there and thereabouts, always in kind of that, at least the AFC Championship. And we've seen
that's their floor at the moment. So yes. Yeah, long may it continue.
Yeah, what a great place to be. Yeah, I wish that was the case for my team. Not been to an NFC Championship game for 30 years, I think, this year. Yeah, so, yeah, it's rough. I'd swap in a heartbeat. No, I wouldn't not even get to the Super Bowl, just get into an NFC Championship game, I'd say, yeah. Good stuff. Well, Tom, yeah, your special subject is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs, the last 8 years or so, which is, I guess, when you got into it, yeah? Cool. How are you feeling then? How do you feel your knowledge is on the Chiefs in this period?
I feel like I've got decent knowledge. I think you'll put me to the test, but I back myself, and we'll just to see where the chips fall. So.
Well, that's the test. Like, I don't think anybody's found it particularly easy so far. Even the kind of specialist subjects I've been testing, because ultimately you're trusting one person to write the questions here, so it's what comes out of my mind, what I'm seeing when I'm researching the subject. So it could be anything, but I think you're going to do pretty good. I think you're going to give yourself a good showing and put yourself in with a chance of winning the heat with a good second round as well. So usual Mastermind rules apply. If you pass a question, we'll come back to it at the end. Any incorrect answers, we'll give you straight away. And if I start a question as the 2-minute buzzer runs out, I will finish it. We don't have any fancy graphics or sound bites or sound effects playing in, sadly. We haven't got the budget yet for that here at Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover, but that might come next year if this goes well and we don't get sued by the BBC. We'll see. Tom, are you ready? Are you feeling nice and relaxed now and ready to take this on?
Yeah, ready and eager to see how I get on.
Sweet. I think you're going to do well. Let's go 2 minutes on the Kansas City Chiefs 2017 to 2025. Let's roll. In which season did Patrick Mahomes become the full-time Chiefs starting quarterback?
In the 2018 season.
Correct. Which team did the Chiefs defeat in Super Bowl 54?
54, the 49ers.
Correct. Who did the Chiefs beat in the 2020 AFC Championship game to get to Super Bowl 55?
The Buffalo Bills.
Correct. In which season did the Chiefs score a franchise record 565 points in the regular season?
2018.
Correct. L'Jarius Sneed was traded to which AFC team ahead of the 2024 season?
The Tennessee Titans.
Correct. Matt Nagy left as the offensive coordinator at the end of 2017 to take the job as head coach of which team?
The Chicago Bears.
Correct. Which player led the Chiefs in rushing yards in 2017, then returned in 2024?
Kareem Hunt.
Correct. Linebacker Nick Bolton was drafted in which round of the 2021 NFL Draft?
The third round.
Oh, it's the second round. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill was traded to the Miami Dolphins in what year?
2021.
2022.
Oh.
The Chiefs made 2 first-round picks in the 2022 draft. Trent McDuffie and which other player?
George Karlaftis.
Correct. The Chiefs traded for Charvarius Ward in 2018 from which NFC team?
Was it the Cardinals?
It was the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Who scored the game-winning touchdown for the Chiefs in overtime of Super Bowl 58?
Mecole Hardman.
Correct. Marquise Hollywood Brown signed in 2024. Which team had he spent the previous 2 seasons with?
The Arizona Cardinals.
Correct. Which former Chiefs player has had the following career path? Cardinals, Texans, Chiefs, Saints.
Oh, Tyrann Mathieu.
Correct, and that puts us bang on time. What an incredible showing, Tom.
I had a couple wrong there, so I'll take that.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 questions. 11 out of 14. So the 3 questions you got wrong, but 11 out of 14 is very, very impressive.
I'll take that.
So far, up until this point recording, that is the best score we've had in the specialist subject round.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Andy Davis got 10 in his
I'm definitely going to be holding that against him. I'll be messaging him afterwards. So.
Excellent. Yeah, he got 10 in Heat 1, which was the just all about the Super Bowl. So, yeah, 11. Very well done, Tom. You set yourself up really well to have a chance of a winning score. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, I feel good. Yeah, I felt really good with those questions. I'm annoyed I didn't get the Nick Bolton one, and probably the Tyreek Hill one, but that was more just because I was so sad when he left. I probably don't even remember the
just trying to like,
Yeah, exactly. I just did a crying emoji. So yeah. But
good work though. Yeah, and the Cowboy. In researching this, that reminded me that the Cowboys traded away Charvarius Ward as well.
Yeah, that's crazy. To be fair, I didn't even know he played for the Cowboys.
Well, he did. Yeah,
I knew he played for the 49ers, but I knew we hadn't gotten from them. He went then to them after us. So.
Yeah, Cowboys signed Charvarius Ward as an undrafted free agent. He was on the precipice of making the team, and then like 2 weeks before the season started, they traded him to the Chiefs for an O-lineman who got injured a week later and never played.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Parker Ehringer, there you go.
Wow, yeah, don't even know the name, so there you go.
There you go. Look how it's worked out. But huge well done, Tom. 11, excellent stuff. So rest up, rest easy. All the pressure's on the other participants now, and then we'll come back to you in a few minutes' time to take on the general knowledge round. How is your NFL general knowledge?
I think it's fairly good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with I've watched enough NFL films and, what do you call it? Like a football life and that sort of thing. So cool. I feel like my general knowledge of NFL, hopefully, as proven by, how well I do, is all right. So.
Well, you're going to have a chance to set a really good score. So like I say, take it easy. You can relax for a few minutes and then we'll be back with you shortly to take on the general knowledge round. Next up in our second heat for Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover Mastermind, we're joined by a first-time guest to the show. We're joined by Ballers Meg. Meg, welcome to Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover. Thank you for coming on. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for having me. I'm excited. Looking forward to this.
Good stuff. We, I suppose, know you. I've got to know you through a mutual friend, a previous competitor, Fletch from the Sleep at Work Network, was in our first episode. So we know, obviously, you're going to be fantastic for Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover Mastermind as a result. How have you felt kind of prepared? I don't know, have you prepared? How are you feeling about kind of tackling this Mastermind challenge?
So I figured that if I just prep my specialist subject to the nth degree as best as I possibly can, then that's my strategy, because I was so nervous. Like, anyone who's been on any of my stuff, they'll know that I'm relatively new to NFL, like following and fandom. I figured that the NFL, the kind of general round, I will just wing it, and then the specialist round, I will hone in a little bit.
Nice. That sounds like a good strategy. And we'll I mean, it might be obvious on the YouTube version if you're watching on video what Meg's specialist subject may be, given the jerseys she's got on and in the background, but we'll just hold it off there for a second. I suppose want to talk about first as well what you've got going on, because I mentioned you. We know you from and through the Sleep at Work Network, and that's how I've got to know you. You've been doing some stuff on Heard on the Line, which is obviously a great podcast on that. You've been doing your own stuff. So what have you got coming up, Meg?
Oh, there's so many things that I could say at the minute. But kind of watch this space. As you said, I regularly now host on Heard on the Line for the Sleep at Work Network. That's my main kind of podcast focus at the minute. My own podcast is launching in June, hopefully, fingers crossed. Relaunching. We did a bit of a soft launch last year, coming up. We're gonna really zone in and look at that. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the background that I can't quite talk about yet as well. That's really exciting. That's kind of separate to the world of online, but in real life. So yeah, but it will obviously be documented
Of course, good stuff.
soon.
But we'll keep our eyes peeled then. Make sure you go drop Meg a follow, Ballers Meg, Instagram, X. I still want to say Twitter.
I still say Twitter.
Yeah, and all the
TikTok.
channels.
Yeah,
TikTok
TikTok's
as
the main
well.
one.
TikTok's the big one, so make sure you give Meg a follow. Your specialist subject is about the Atlanta Falcons and specifically the 2024 season, so the season just gone by. I suppose, how did you become a fan of the Falcons in the first place, Meg?
I lost a bet. And everybody always says, well, come on then, explain. I was at work one night and my boss and I had a bet going on, and there was a game of football on the telly. And basically he said, if you win the bet, you can pick your team. And if you lose the bet, I pick your team. And he's a Falcons fan and I lost the bet. So here we are.
Yeah, and now you've got the affliction of being a Falcons fan. It has been a tough time for
It has.
recently to be an Atlanta Falcons fan. What are your hopes like? What are your hopes for the upcoming season then, given kind of we've had free agency in the draft, big moves on the first night of the draft from the Falcons. So yeah, how are you feeling going into 2025?
You know, I am cautiously optimistic. I think that the Falcons have been one of the better teams in the off-season for just what we've done in terms of our team needs and the kind of... Obviously, we've got the Kirk Cousins problem. That's not going to go away very easily. But we made some really good moves in the draft. I'm pretty pleased. James Pierce Jr., let's keep our eyes peeled on that one because I do think it's going to be an interesting dynamic. Is there anybody strong enough to keep him in his box? Could be an interesting season. But I'm excited for Michael Penix to get his first proper season. You know, not just the dribs and drabs of what Kirk Cousins couldn't do, but his own season to own it and make the team his. Yeah, some real young talent coming through, and I'd like to see it.
Nice. Well, yeah, we saw Penix at the back end of the season, and it certainly looked very promising. So yeah, it certainly will be exciting to see how he gets as a full season at it.
Definitely.
Back. Cool, good stuff then. So, are you feeling relaxed? Are you feeling ready to take on the specialist subject round?
Yeah, go for it. Let's do it.
Cool. Well, it'll be 2 minutes on the clock on the subject of the 2024 Atlanta Falcons season. Just like the show, Mastermind, if you pass a question, we'll come back to it at the end. If you give us an incorrect answer, we'll tell you what it is straight away. And if I start a question as the time expires, I'll finish it.
Okay.
Very much like the show. But yeah, sadly, we don't have the graphics and the music. And we don't have any of that. So... yeah.
Hey, we've got it all. We're imagining it. We're good.
The budget we've not got the budget for that yet, and I think the BBC will probably try and shut us down as well. So,
well, let's see.
Good stuff, right? 2 minutes on the Atlanta Falcons 2024 season. Let's go. Who scored the Falcons' final touchdown of the season in the Week 18 defeat to the Panthers?
Drake London.
It was B. John. How many interceptions did Kirk Cousins throw in the Week 13 loss to the Chargers?
4.
Correct. That was a mean question as well. Which other NFC South team has Raheem Morris previously been the head coach of?
The Bucks.
Buccaneers, correct. Michael Penix Jr. made his first NFL start against which NFC East team in Week 16?
Ooh, the Cowboys?
It was against the Giants. Kirk Cousins was signed as a free agent in the 2024 offseason. Who was his previous team?
The Vikings.
Correct. After going 8-9 in 2024, how many losing seasons in a row have the Falcons had?
7.
7, correct. Also a mean question. How many 2024 Falcons games went to overtime?
5.
It was 3. The Falcons went 4-2 in the division. Which team did they beat in both games?
The Bucks.
Buccaneers, correct. The Falcons broke a 4-game losing streak with a win on Monday Night Football in Week 15 against which AFC team?
Oh. No, pass.
Pass. No, we'll come back to it. Which AFC division did the Falcons play their games against in 2024?
The East.
It was the AFC West.
Oh.
Who had the most interceptions with 4 for the Falcons in 2024?
Ooh. Jesse Bates the third.
Correct. And last question, who led the Falcons in sacks for 2024?
Oh. Sacks was it Ebiketie?
Correct. Arnold Ebiketie. Fantastic. What a great showing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And one pass only. So I think that's 7 out of 12 questions. That's pretty good going. And the team the Falcons
It was
beat
the Raiders.
It was the Raiders, yes, correct, yes. It was the Raiders to end the losing streak late on in the season. That was real good. 7's a pretty strong score in the first round. How are you feeling about that? How was it doing it kind of under the pressure and getting questions fired at you every 10 seconds?
It wasn't too bad, to be fair. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Cool.
It's the next round that's worrying me.
The next round, well, look, 7's a good score. I think outside of the person who won the first heat, I think 7's probably the best score we've had in the specialist subject round. So Andy Davies got 10 in his, but apart from that, I don't think anybody's got more than 7. So that's a good sign to start.
Fair.
Look, the general knowledge questions, who knows, they might fall in your favour, and you could post a strong total for Heat 2 and see if you can be the winner and head to the grand final. Meg, we'll give you some time to gather your thoughts while we go through the rest of the first round, and then we'll come back to you in a few minutes' time to do the general knowledge round. So we'll see you shortly.
No worries.
Next up, in Heat 2 of Good Teams and Great Teams cover Mastermind, we've got our very own Byron taking part. Byron, how you doing? How are you feeling about taking on the Mastermind challenge, knowing what everybody else has been through?
Yeah, a little nervous. I love trivia. I love NFL trivia, so hopefully it goes okay. I struggled thinking of a specialist subject, so I'll let you drop that when you want to drop it in what it is. But yeah, eager to see how it goes. But yeah, excited. I love trivia. I love doing quizzes. So fingers crossed I do well enough to make it to the next round is all I'm kind of hoping for, just so I get some more questions.
Yeah, nice. I think you've got a very interesting specialist subject. I say it was tough. So I think you've probably got like a few specialist subjects you could use, because I see you do bring some of the trivia. I suppose all the trivia for Good Teams and Great Teams covers mainly geared around number 1 singles, and the last time somebody was
I'm kind of going for number 1 hits.
Yeah. You could have done that, like major NFL events and their UK number 1 equivalent, maybe, is what you could have gone for. Yeah. But no, we'll put you in. And just in case anybody thinks that we might have, rigged the deck here, Byron's going to get it tougher than anybody else in this Mastermind competition.
Couldn't have went even, no.
Yeah, no, he's not getting it easy. There's no favoritism, as he of course is one of the hosts of the shows. We were discussing whether Byron and Joe were going to take part in this, and it feels right that the guys, I think Joe should be in a later episode, we'll see later Heat, but Byron's just left and I will continue talking while he has. But yeah, the guys should be in, have some representation for Good Teams and Great Teams cover, but also okay, we had them just in case people couldn't make it, which has been the case, so we've included Byron for sure, possibly Joe as well in as part of that. Yeah, I mean, you're right there. He just left. Was that left in protest because I said I'm going to make questions real hard?
No, do you know what it was? I noticed my trackpad was dusty, so I wiped it, and it sent me back a window.
Well, let's hope you're better at NFL trivia than you are at controlling your browser windows.
Yeah.
you're interested. Your special subject's really interesting. Number one overall picks from the last 15 years, isn't it? So 2010 onward, NFL number one overall picks. Yeah. What was it about that made you want to kind of go for it as a special subject?
Do you know what? I was really just struggling to think of something because, like, I am a Cowboys fan, but so many of the seasons blend together in my head, and like it's more like, you know, and it's like, well, if I do like the Jason Garrett era or the Tony Romo era, I know that like you're gonna ask me a question about like in 2012 what game, yeah, and I'm just like, that could be 2011, 2013, 2014, or 2010 to me. Like the years just blend together really badly. Same with the Premier League nowadays. Like 90s, I could tell you, like easy, this game happened that year, but like the last 10 years or so, I think it's maybe a thing we didn't include now over 30s draft, but like it's one of the things I think like as you get older, you like the years blend together more and more. And like obviously I play a lot of fantasy, but fantasy's a tough one as well because it's so broad. Of like, please quiz me about fantasy football the last 10 years. I don't know, it just felt a bit weird. And I thought, you know what, I think I know who all the number one picks were from 22 onwards. It seems like kind of a fun thing to talk, you know, have questions about, maybe a broad range. There won't be questions I've, you know, with some trivia things, like there's a fair chance you'll have heard them before in some form. And I thought, you know, this will make Paul work to get some good questions out of it. And hopefully, like I say, like I just love doing quizzes and I love trivia. So like, yeah, I hope I do well, but I also hope I have fun. So like, hopefully I get some new questions or some new kind of questions out of it that test me. Because I love, like I say, I love being tested. I love trivia. So yeah, and I really, really struggled for a special subject. I don't know if I need to, if I qualify for the next round, I don't know if I need to think of another one.
You've got the option, I suppose. We'll give you the option. I suggest you probably do need one because I think getting another kind of 20 questions from this might be difficult. So
definitely,
I'm sure there are, but just for, you know, I'm no quiz master, really.
I imagine it'll be a lot more difficult as well. Second batch of 20 or what have you. So yeah, like I honestly think, because I think this part's going to be fun, even if it is going to be like stressful in real time. I had much more stress trying to think of a special subject. It took me weeks to try and think of something because again, like I didn't want to pick the Cowboys, and I didn't want to pick like a random year. So like, yeah, if I make it through, I think trying to think of a second special subject is going to fry my brain more than the trivia will. Doesn't mean I'll get the trivia right, but I'll enjoy it at least.
Yeah, I think it's like I say, questions, bit of a mix of questions, because like I say, because they could just be, you know, who was number one pick here, who was number one pick there, but we've not done that. So yeah, there's a mix. I think there might be a couple of them, but not many. So yeah, standard Mastermind rules apply, Byron. If you pass, we'll come back to it at the end. Incorrect answer, we'll tell you the correct one there and then. And if I start a question as the 2 minutes expires, I will finish. You ready for 2 minutes on the number one overall NFL number one overall picks?
I am
circa 2010 to 2025. Right, ready to roll? Let's go. How many number one overall picks from this period went on to win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Ooh, 3.
Correct. Which college has the most number one picks from this period?
Oklahoma.
Correct. Trayvon Walker, Myles Garrett, and which other defensive player went number one during this time?
Myles Garrett. Jadeveon Clowney.
Correct. Rams, Eagles, Vikings, Cardinals is the career path of which number one pick from this period?
Sam Bradford.
Correct. Which number one overall pick took over the starting role from Case Keenum during their rookie season?
Ooh. Baker Mayfield.
Jared Goff. Who became the second ever player to be taken in the first round of an NFL draft from Central Michigan when taken 1 overall in 2013?
2013, Eric Fisher.
Correct. Who is the only number one pick from this period to have won NFL MVP?
Cam Newton.
Correct. Which two teams have had multiple number one selections during this time?
Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Rams and Browns.
And the Jags.
Oh, yeah, 3. See, I knew I'd get caught out on some of these questions. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's bad on my part, and I'll add some time on. Who was the number one overall pick of the 2015 NFL draft?
2015, Jared Goff.
Jameis Winston.
2016.
Name the next college in this sequence of number one picks. Oklahoma, LSU, Clemson.
Trayvon Walker. Michigan.
Oh, Georgia, right player. Which number 1 pick from this period has gone to the most Pro Bowls so far with 6?
Cam Newton.
Myles Garrett. Which 3 quarterbacks taken in this period have played in a Super Bowl?
Cam Newton. Jared Goff. Who am I not thinking of? Joe Burrow.
Correct. And last one, given my mess up before, which number 1 pick led a 28-point comeback win in a wild card playoff game in their second NFL season?
Trevor Lawrence.
Andrew Luck. Trevor Lawrence is 27 points.
You fucker. You fucker. That is awful.
I know, I thought that was mean. I left that one right quite near the end as well. I thought that was quite a mean one. But yeah, they're so similar, aren't they? 27, 28.
Yeah, they're pretty close. You're right. Yeah, that's a real shitty question, mate.
It was real bad, wasn't it? I apologise. I mean, it's a good trivia question. And yeah, you're right. It is. What a brain dead. It's Jags, Rams, Browns. So there's 3 teams who've had multiple number 1 selections during that time. So apologies. But yes, you get the point because you named them all anyway.
It's funny as well because I mentioned Goff and Bradford separately, and yet Rams are right in my head. I think it's because the Jags and Browns are much more recent.
Yeah.
So like I knew Sam Bradford was obviously there.
Yeah.
But,
I think I
for some
just
reason the Rams just went out of my head.
Even though I wrote 2 questions related to him, just forgot Trayvon Walker for a minute there. Cool, but yeah, you've done really well there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
I'll take it, obviously.
10. Yeah, excellent. And we've got some, if you do win, we've got some questions left over as well. But yeah, 10 out of 13 as well. So only 3 incorrect answers. So
I can't believe how long it took me to get that Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I was like killing me. I'm like, because I'm just going to have to say Kyler Murray or something. Who like I know he didn't. But like, like the times obviously you don't want to just sit here going like, who is it?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's hard because you got the clock.
I just can't think of who it is. And then immediately, like, just thankfully Burrow came in my head and I was like, you idiot. Of course it's Joe Burrow.
Cool. Yeah, but some there. So yeah, the 3 number 1 overall picks that went on to win Offensive Rookie of the Year were Sam Bradford, Cam Newton, Kyler Murray. 3 players from Oklahoma: Sam Bradford, Baker Mayfield, and Kyler Murray. And yeah, nailed it. So 10 on the board. How are you feeling after that? There is a little bit of pressure, isn't there? Like with
yeah. That was really fun though. Yeah, I hate that last question though. I will not.
Yeah,
I'm never going to stop thinking about that. Because as soon as you started, I was like, oh, yes, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it is me.
And then you said no, and I'm just like, how is it no? Who is,
it's Andrew Luck, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very sneaky one. And the 6 Pro Bowls, who was it?
Myles Garrett,
yeah. Again, just running through quarterbacks in my head, because
there's
so many of them are quarterbacks. I thought I was going to be one of the questions, like how many were not quarterbacks or how many were quarterbacks. So, like, I knew there was a ton of quarterbacks. But yeah, really good set of questions. Cheers, Paul.
No worries. 10 on the board. We'll rest up, relax, come back in a few minutes' time, and we will do general knowledge round and see if you get through, if you get a good enough score to get through to the grand final.
That wraps up the specialist subject round. Wide variety there of NFL knowledge. Really enjoyed writing a lot of those questions. But scores on the doors after round 1. We've got Phill, who got 6 in his NFL players and wrestling category. Meg, who got 7 for her Atlanta Falcons 2024 season. Byron, who got 10 on his number 1 overall picks. And Tom Kraft leads the way currently on 11. We'll be going in reverse order for the second round. So here is Phill with his NFL general knowledge round. We've got Phill back from the third and long pod. Phill, you've had time to reflect on how your specialist subject round went. How are you feeling heading into the general knowledge?
I feel a little bit overstimulated now. I don't think I can brag as hard as I was hoping to do on our show a little bit later on. Really, really good questions. Made me think. I actually thought that I knew more about professional wrestling and NFL then some of the questions actually led me to believe. I mean, the Moose question got me, the Pat McAfee question got me, but a couple of the ones I was well chuffed with myself. I can't remember which one it was that I said the answer to, and you kind of like a you gave a face like, oh crap, he's got that right. Like it was kind of
There's some, like I said, there's some tough questions. What I guess I learned as well is how deep that subject is.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned it in the intro before we did it. There are so many professional wrestlers that have got a football background. And I guess when they drop out of the sport or whatever, professional wrestling, certainly when I was looking back, like 50s, 60s and stuff, it just seemed to be like a pathway. And yeah,
it feels like a natural progression as well, doesn't it? Like for certain careers, like they played football and now they become wrestlers. Like, I mean, one of the questions like Goldberg, but then you've got like Roman Reigns, The Rock, Lex Luger, Ron Simmons, like all these, big superstars that had their initial, kind of like goes in like, the NFL, and even like someone like Brock Lesnar, who went from the WWE to then like the Minnesota Vikings and tried to get onto their team. I think it's natural skills. I think it's that progression, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's that natural athleticism and size as well, which appeals so much in the professional wrestling world. Cool. You've going to be taking on the general knowledge aspect of it. Are you feeling ready? Actually, I think you're gauging you. I think you're going to do pretty well at the general.
Thank you for building me up and glazing me. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I don't want to say that I'm going to be amazing and then completely just destroy it. But I'll be mildly confident. If I can get 4 questions right and to get myself to double figures on the quiz, I will be chuffed.
Double figures. Well, look, you've got the opportunity, I guess, to set a score here. You've got 6 on the board from the first round. You got 6 out of 11 in the first round, which...
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's barely halfway. That's barely halfway.
It's more than halfway, and it was real, and it was tough as well. So what we'll do is you've got the opportunity to add to that now with the general knowledge side of things. 2 minutes on the clock, NFL general knowledge. You ready to roll, Phill?
Yeah, now or never.
It's now or never, right. 2 minutes on the clock. Let's go. Which NFC East team has the nickname Big Blue?
Giants.
Excellent. Who is the all-time leading passer for the Atlanta Falcons?
Matt Ryan.
Correct. Which team in the AFC North has the most Super Bowl victories?
The New England Patriots.
It's the Steelers in the AFC North.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which team won the first Super Bowl in 1967?
Was it the Packers?
Correct. Which team's defensive line coined the nickname the Purple People Eaters?
The Ravens?
It's the Vikings.
Ah!
This is easy. Who holds the record for most career receptions in NFL history?
The great Jerry Rice.
Correct. Who was the MVP of the 2020 NFL season?
Lamar?
Aaron Rodgers.
Ah!
Who was the first overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft?
Devon Clowney?
It is Andrew Luck.
Oh my God!
Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 53? That was Patriots against Rams.
Malcolm Butler?
It was Julian Edelman.
Oh, of course it was. We had this conversation the other day. Yeah.
What year did the New Orleans Saints win their first and only Super Bowl?
2009.
Yeah, 2009 season. Yeah, we'll take that. Which NFL team plays its home games at Nissan Stadium?
Oh my God! Why can't I think? Panthers? No.
It's the Titans.
Yeah.
Who is the all-time leader in receiving touchdowns for the LA Chargers or San Diego Chargers, whichever you prefer?
Brown? No. No. Pass.
Antonio Gates. And which player has the most receiving yards in a single season?
Jerry Rice? No.
Calvin Johnson.
Oh, Megatron.
Megatron, yeah, Megatron. Some tough questions in there again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 5, so 11.
Oh, get in!
Double figures. And 11 is the score. 11's going to be the score to beat, Phill.
Do you know what? I actually feel it should be 12. I should not have got the Steelers question wrong. As soon as you said like most, I didn't even hear like the AFC. You said AFC. Was it North?
AFC North, yeah.
I didn't even hear the North. I just heard AFC and we're like Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah. It's tough under pressure, isn't it? Like when you.
It is again really, really good questions. I should have known the Julian Edelman one because we talked about it on the show a couple of weeks ago, literally, because I wrote that. And we literally talked because I did the question for Hendo as well. I literally did that. And just completely went blank. Yeah, the Antonio Gates one. I nearly said Antonio Brown. That's why I said Brown. I was like, no.
Okay, yeah. So you were
That's
there.
why I went Brown. I was like, going, no. But well, I didn't completely embarrass myself. As long as I beat the other third and long boys, I'm grand.
Yeah, so there is that. Obviously, there is like a bit of an inbuilt rivalry here over the course of the next 3 episodes because we're going to have the rest of the guys from the third and long pod jump on and take part as well. So very excited to see how the other guys do because also, well, you've gone first. You've put yourself out there to go first and lead the way for your show. So. Absolutely commend you on that. And you've got 11 on the board, and it's not easy to do this. Like, I've said this to other people, I'd much rather be here and write 700 questions than take part myself, I think. I just crumble as well. I just crumble under the pressure. So, yeah, well done, Phill. 11 on the board. Thank you for a great specialist subject as well.
Thank you.
I personally enjoyed writing those questions and digging into that subject, the NFL players in wrestling a bit more as well. Just give us a quick shout out again. Where can we catch the third and long pod?
So you can catch the Third and Long podcast. If you want to follow us on all our socials, Twitter or X, or on Instagram at Third and Long Pod. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Amazon, and iTunes. I think fairly like anywhere you can get your podcast from. We record live via YouTube and Facebook every Thursday. But if you're like me and like to listen to something on the way into work on a Friday, you can listen to us Friday morning as the show goes live at 8. So please listen in to us. It's just basically 4 lads who love American football, and you can tell that we're friends because all we do is bicker and slate each other, and it's okay because we never fall out. So please listen up, and Paul, thank you so much for having me on the show. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's great talking to other people as well about NFL as also professional wrestling, because as I get older, I'm finding that my social circle of people that like wrestling gets smaller and smaller.
I guess that does happen. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Phill. Appreciate it. Thanks for giving it such a good go. 11 on the board. We will see if it's enough to win Heat 2. Let's find out as we finish the round.
Thank you.
We're joined again by Ballers Meg. Meg's back to do the second part of the competition, which is the NFL general knowledge. Meg got 7 in her specialist subject, which was the Falcons 2024 season. Meg, how did you feel it went?
Yeah, I'm happy with the scores, to be fair. I'm annoyed at myself for that Raiders question, that week 15 question. I should have known that one. But, you know, it is what it is. Pressure got to me a little bit, maybe.
It is tough, and the spotlight's on you, trying to rack your brains, and it is tough. I've said a fair few times, I would much rather be on this side writing all the questions than being on your side answering them. So fair play for doing it. And like I say, you've got a really good score. And you're going to set yourself up with a chance to win our second heat. So, how is we talked about it a little bit before that, but how are you feeling about the second part, the more general knowledge round?
Yeah, that part is the part that, I'll be honest, is not my strong point at all. I've only been following the NFL for like 2 and a bit seasons. And prior to that, I knew nothing.
Cool, okay. So
it's a bit of a kind of... It's one of those imposter syndrome moments, isn't it? Where you kind of think, oh, why am I talking about football? But hey, we do it because we love it, right?
Absolutely. Passionate about it, regardless how long you've been watching it. You're passionate about it, and you've learned a lot so far. So
yeah,
we're going to see it. We're going to see it happen now for sure. I think you've got a good chance with some of these questions. I think there's a mix of questions, so I think you're going to have a shot at adding a fair few to your score of 7 from the first part. So, Meg, are you ready to roll for 2 minutes on general NFL knowledge?
Let's do it.
Excellent. Right, let's roll. Who holds the record for the most career passing yards in NFL history?
Pass.
Which team did the Orange Crush defense belong to?
Orange Crush, was that the Bucks?
It was the Broncos.
No, Broncos.
Which AFC South team was originally founded as the Houston Oilers?
That was the Titans, was it?
Correct, yeah. Which NFC North team plays its home games at US Bank Stadium?
US Bank Stadium is the no, it's not. It's the Bears.
It's the Vikings.
Vikings.
Who was the MVP?
Just go through them.
Who was the MVP of the 2015 NFL season?
Brady?
It was Cam Newton. Which former Cowboys quarterback is now part of the commentary team with CBS television?
Pass.
Which team in the NFC North has the most Super Bowl victories?
The Packers?
Correct. Which current NFC East team was originally based in Boston before relocating?
The Eagles.
It's the Commanders. What is the nickname of the Buffalo Bills fans?
Pass.
Which team has won the NFC South for 4 consecutive seasons from 2021 to 2024?
The Bucks.
Buccaneers, sorry about that. Which division was the focus for the in-season series of Hard Knocks in 2024?
The Dolphins.
That was the year before.
That was the year before.
It was the AFC North. What is the name of the New England Patriots mascot?
Oh my God, Sam. No, Sam. Can't remember his name.
Pat Patriot or Pat the Patriot.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's 2 minutes. It's a tougher round.
That was awful.
Still got 3 on the board. Got to double digits. So yeah, 7 in the first round, 3 in the second. A couple that were passed. Some of the questions obviously are slightly more history based. Tom Brady's got the record for most career passing yards. That was the first question. And Tony Romo is the guy that's the Cowboys quarterback that's on the CBS commentary team.
Fair.
Bills Mafia is the name of the Buffalo Bills.
And I knew that. This is it. It's just the pressure gets a lot.
10 on the board, so we'll see if that's going to be enough to win Heat 2. We've got obviously some of the other guys on with mix of specialist subjects as well, so we'll see how they've got on. I'm not going to spoil it as well. I'm going to wait till the episode's released for you to tell you, Meg, whether that's a winning score or not. But how's it felt taking part in our Mastermind quiz?
Yeah, it's been loads of fun. Absolutely loads of fun. Something different to do, and appreciate all the work that goes into that as well on your end, because there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into any podcast, but especially with something like this. So I appreciate it, and I'm sure that people watching will too.
It was a daft idea, and now we're having to deliver on it. Meg, hopefully we have not put you off coming back on Good Teams and Great Teams cover at some point during the season. It'd be great to have you on, and chat. See how Falcons are doing during the season.
Absolutely.
Get your thoughts on what hopefully will be a better year for the Atlanta Falcons. And apologies,
fingers crossed.
There's some unintentionally mean Falcons. That was not the intent.
It's all right.
But hopefully it'll be a better year for the Falcons, and we can have you back on and talk more positively about the Atlanta Falcons having a great season.
Hopefully.
Meg, could you give us one last shout again? Where can we follow you across all these social media channels?
So mostly on TikTok, it's ballers_Meg on all platforms. So TikTok, X, Instagram, and recently Facebook. I have added a Facebook page as well to follow along. If you want to be part of my Discord community, add me as a friend on there. It's ballers_Meg, and I will throw you into the server, the Ballers server, and we can chat football and basketball and all things American sports.
Excellent. I've seen you. Is it the Celtics? You're a Boston Celtics. You're a fan of us. This is just real mean. I'll stop just talking rubbish about your team.
We're out of the playoffs, but hey,
but they've been a really good team recently. So I've seen some of the basketball content as well, which is great. So yes, make sure you go follow Ballers Meg, get in the Discord, and support throughout the rest of the way. Meg, thanks very much for coming on. We're going to jump to our next competitor and see how they get on in the NFL General Knowledge round.
Welcome back to Byron, our Good Teams Win Great Teams cover representative for Heat 2. Byron, you've got 10 points on the board after your specialist subject round, which was number 1 overall picks of the last 15 years. How are you feeling after round 1?
Well, I took my break and I've still not got over the Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck question. But other than that, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm ready for general knowledge, but
I feel a little bit about that.
That's going to linger. That is going to linger.
I feel a little bit bad about that. I'm sorry. Not cool. But I did say I was going to try and make things hard, right? Like you're not getting an easy ride just because you're part of the show, just because you're one of the hosts of the podcast. Don't mean you're going to get an easy ride. That was a particularly mean, difficult ride for that question in particular. But on the whole, that you did really, really well.
And ultimately, I got the question wrong.
Yes, yeah.
You know, they are the facts and they are undeniable.
Yes, but you have got 10 on the board, which is a real strong position to be in. I think of the recordings, we've done one of the top specialist subject round scores so far. So good work. It's going to set you up well for NFL general knowledge. I feel your NFL general knowledge is pretty good. Are you feeling confident tackling this one?
Yeah. Don't know what. No idea what's going to come up, which is always, everyone's going to be in the same boat though. So yeah, I think my general knowledge is generally pretty sharp. So fingers crossed we hold up, but I hold the end of the bargain.
Yeah, and apologies for the boo-boo I made in the first one. That's probably the first one, I think, which is not bad about like 400 questions.
No. No.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. Stupid, but anyway, I think we got these. I've definitely verified the rest of every single other question. But yeah, I think you got this. Are you ready for 2 minutes on NFL general knowledge? Your pass will come to it at the end. If I start a question as the 2 minutes expires, I'll finish it and give you the opportunity to answer. We don't have any fancy graphics, sound effects, etc. Yeah, maybe next year if we get more bigger budget for good teams and great teams. Yeah. Right, let's roll. 10 on the board. Let's see how many you can get to, Byron. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 49? Patriots, Seahawks.
Julian Edelman.
Tom Brady. Which player in the NFL history has most career interceptions? As in defensive player, not quarterback. Yeah, sorry, just to be clear.
Deion Sanders.
It's Paul Krause. Who was the first overall pick in the 2005 NFL draft?
Jake Long.
It's Alex Smith. Who holds the record for most career rushing yards for the New York Giants?
Tiki Barber.
Correct. Who is the all-time leader in receptions for the New England Patriots?
Rob Gronkowski.
It's Wes Welker. Which NFL team plays its home games at First Energy Stadium?
Titans, don't know.
Browns. Which team won the NFC South with a losing 7-8-1 record in 2014?
Panthers.
Correct. What year did the Baltimore Ravens join the NFL?
1998.
96. Which NFL team plays its home games at Ford Field?
The Detroit Lions.
Correct. Who was the starting quarterback for the New York Giants for their Super Bowl 42 and 46 wins?
Eli Manning.
Correct. Which team drafted Zach Wilson with the number 2 overall pick in the 2021? The Music City Miracle play at the end of the 99 wildcard game between the Bills and Titans was what kind of touchdown?
Special teams, lateral.
Yeah, I'll take that. Special teams kickoff return. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 45?
Do I have a year or the teams?
Oh, Packers, Steelers, sorry.
Aaron Rodgers?
Correct. And who was the head coach of the Washington Commanders during their Super Bowl 26 victory?
Joe Gibbs?
Correct. Oh, good pull. That was the last one. We were over 2 minutes. Yeah, I was meant to give you the teams for Steelers, Packers, and yeah.
That was a bad start.
Yeah, I thought you were going to struggle to get going there, but you did once you got going. So you got the last 6 in a row right after. Yeah.
Ooh, I was getting panicked there. I was like, I can't just end up on 10 after starting on 10.
Yeah, you got it was a bit rocky, wasn't it? So you got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 to 9 in the second round. General knowledge is pretty good going. 9 out of 13, 9 out of 14. Yeah, 9 out of 14. So yeah, the ones Paul Krause. So he's like 70s, 80s question. Yeah. That is a tough one. 81 interceptions across the career for Washington and Minnesota. Alex Smith, 2005 draft. Yeah, the Rodgers draft.
Yeah.
Jake Long was 2008.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of years later.
Right. Yeah.
I was thinking of Matt Ryan as well, but I think Matt Ryan went in the I think he went in the same draft as Long.
Yeah.
And I'll just get my years muddled, obviously.
Yeah, it is tough. Those ones with the years are real hard to
Yeah.
get, I think. Yeah, Ray.
I'm terrible. Like, if you wouldn't have given me the years, I would have had no chance.
Wes Welker, leader in receptions for Patriots.
That was a really tough question, I thought. I was tempted between him and Edelman, Gronk, and Welker. It's like, Gronk was there longest. Let's just go Gronk. But
672 for Wes Welker. First Energy Stadium, Cleveland Browns, and Ravens 1996. Good run, though. 19 on the board. Good score. High standard set.
Thank you, yeah.
Good work.
Tom Brady in the Super Bowl MVP, that was stupid.
Yeah, so I think probably that one, everyone thinks it's Malcolm Butler. Obviously makes the interception to win the game-winning interception, doesn't it? Yeah. I think Edelman's 53 against the Rams, I think, isn't he, Edelman? He wins MVP for that.
Yes. Yeah. That's so he did win one at least. Okay.
Yeah.
I had in my head that he won it, and I was like, oh yeah, he had that incredible catch down the field where it like landed on him.
Yeah.
Drive for them to Patriots to go ahead against the Seahawks.
No, that's in the Falcons comeback, isn't it?
It's not fair. They played too many Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They played too many. So the default should just be Tom Brady. Yeah, that's really on me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one Edelman wins it for is the 13-3 game against the Rams. And yeah, Brady is the Seahawks, but that definitely should have been Malcolm Butler.
Yeah. Best played Super Bowl history.
Yeah, absolutely. Should have been Malcolm Butler. But yes, anyway, 19 on the board, Byron. I think that's well done. You have represented our show proudly. You've done a great job. You've not disgraced the great name of Good Teams when Great Teams cover. So well done, proud of you.
Cheers, mate.
Cool. We will go on. We have got one person left to go. Are they going to get enough to win? Is it going to be Byron? Who knows? Let's find out as we get to our fourth and final competitor in the NFL General Knowledge Round, and we'll see who wins Heat 2 of Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover Mastermind.
So there we are. 3 of the 4 competitors completed their second round. Byron leads the way with a really solid score of 19. We tried to make it real hard for him. He did real well. I don't think he's ever going to forgive me for that question in the first round. But Byron leads the way on 19. Just Tom left to go. Tom had 11 for his specialist subject round on the history of the Chiefs 2017 to 2025. He's going to need 9 to win, 8 for a tie. Let's see if Tom can do the business. We welcome back Tom here for round 2 after a sterling performance in round 1 with 11 on the board with your specialist subject, the Chiefs, for the last 8 years. Tom, how are you feeling? You're in prime position to go on and win from here.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling in the groove, and long may that continue.
Excellent, nice and warmed up. How are you feeling this second part's going to go then?
I'm feeling good. You know, hopefully I back my general knowledge of the NFL. So let's see how I get on.
Excellent. Same as before. If you pass, we'll come to the end. Incorrect answer will tell you. If I start a question as the 2 minutes expires, I will finish. Are you ready to see if you can win the heat, Tom? Although you won't know at the end because pull the curtain a bit. We've still got some more recordings to do, but you've got a chance to set a really, really good score.
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Right. Let's roll. 2 minutes general knowledge on the NFL. Let's go. Which 2 NFL teams are tied for the most Super Bowl victories?
The 49ers and the Steelers.
It's the Steelers and the Patriots.
Oh, of course it is. Oh, my God.
Who is the all-time leader in passing yards for the Miami Dolphins?
Dan Marino.
Correct. Which NFL team plays its home games at Bank of America Stadium?
Oh, that is the Carolina Panthers.
Correct. In which season did the Cincinnati Bengals last appear in the Super Bowl?
The 2021 season.
Correct. Who holds the record for most career sacks for the Ravens?
It's Terrell Suggs.
Correct. Who was the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills during their 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances?
Jim Kelly.
Correct. Who was the first overall pick in the 2001 NFL Draft?
Peyton Manning?
It was Michael Vick. Which NFC East team plays its home games at MetLife Stadium?
The New York Giants.
Correct. Which Jets player famously guaranteed victory before Super Bowl III?
Joe Namath.
Correct. Who was head coach of the New Orleans Saints from 2006 to 2021?
Sean Payton.
Correct. Which team has won the most AFC South division titles since its formation in 2002?
The Colts.
Correct. Who was the first ever team to be featured on Hard Knocks when it started in 2001?
Ooh, the Giants?
It's the Baltimore Ravens. Which team in the NFC East has the most Super Bowl victories?
The Cowboys.
Correct. Who was the MVP of Super Bowl 48?
48. Pass.
Who was the first overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft?
2016. Ooh, pass.
Cool. That took us to time. So the last couple of passes, Jared Goff was the number 1 overall pick in 2016 to the Rams. And I just needed to flip sheets quickly because we got through those so quickly because you were on a roll again. Malcolm Smith was the.
I was thinking it was that Super Bowl, but I was trying to remember who it was on that Seahawks defense that won it. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the teams as well. That Seahawks, Broncos.
Malcolm Smith. Yeah.
Cruising again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Incredible. So 11 in the first round, 10 in the second. I think you've got 10 out of 15 in that round as well, which is impressive on general knowledge. Yeah. 21 on the board. Got to be happy with that, Tom.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I am annoyed I didn't get the page. I can't believe I didn't.
The first one.
Yeah. I was like, that one just caught me out because I was thinking, I know the Steelers are 1-6, and then I was like, I'm thinking of the 49ers, but no, they only won 5, didn't they? So,
but yeah, incredible stuff. Yeah, 21 in the driving seat for sure. For this one, you're gonna, if you end up winning this, you're gonna have to come back and do it all over again for the final. You do.
Oh, there we go. Yes, I will have to do that. So that sounds good.
But yeah, really, really excellent performance, Tom. Well done. We will see at the end of the episode if it is enough to win Heat 2. I think you've got a great chance. Just give us a reminder before you go where we can catch, all the content that you're making over the course of the rest of the off season and in season.
Yeah. So you can catch Midnight Sports on YouTube and on TikTok as well at Midnight Sports. And then you can catch AAW Network and Hurdle the Line on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And Midnight Sports on Instagram at Midnight Sports as well. So all that good stuff.
Excellent, good stuff. Well done, Tom. Like I say, we'll see if it's enough to win the Heat in the next few minutes, and we shall. And there we go. Tom needed 9 to win. He got 10 in the NFL General Knowledge round. A very impressive and series-leading score of 21 so far after the first couple of heats. So Tom Kraft from Midnight Sports joins Andy Davis in the final. Andy scored 20. Tom scored 21. It's going to make for a titanic clash in the final. We've got 2 more spaces in our Good Teams Win Great Teams cover Mastermind Grand Final. Those episodes will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, and you can see who join Tom and Andy in the final. Huge thank you to all our competitors and commiserations to Ballers Meg. Make sure you go give her a follow. Phill, Perrins from Third and Long Pod. Go give those guys a follow. Make sure you're listening to and watching their stuff as well. And Byron, once again, sorry for the mean question, but it was tough to write them, so I had to make them real difficult. Once again, congratulations, Tom. Make sure you're following Good Teams and Great Teams cover. You can get access to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, Overcast. Make sure you give us a follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and also you can catch the podcast on YouTube as well. Good Teams Win Great Teams cover at GTW_GTC. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.